Alright, so this is the deal. I promised backers of Avignon that if we reached the first stretch goal in one day, I would do a how to play video that included lots of puns and references to Monty Python and Mel Brooks. And they did, and I had a cold so I couldn't tape it before, but I am taping it now during the last day of our campaign. So if you want a raw experience of how to play with accuracy and fidelity, maybe you should go watch the other how to play video because this is going to be the funny one, hopefully. So in Avignon, you are trying to become Pope because it's good to be the Pope. And you are trying to become Pope by influencing important characters or not so important characters within the Catholic Church. The way that you influence a character is that you pull them 3 spaces till they're off the board. And the way you do that is you take the 4 actions allowed in the game. You can beseech a character, which allows you to pull them 1 square towards you. You can chastise a character, which pushes them 1 square away from you. You can excommunicate a character, which calls the church police, takes that character off the board, and replaces them with the top character of the deck. And you can also petition a character, which allows them to use one of their petition abilities, if they have one. So the first person to pull 3 characters completely off the board on their side wins the game. Unless the noble's involved, but we'll talk about that in a bit. So, to talk a little bit more about the individual characters. The bishop is a character that lets you, when you petition it, pull 1 character, or pull the bishop. And then your opponent is allowed to pull 1 other character. The peasant, the bloody peasant, when you petition him, your opponent has to push 1 character of their choice. You don't get to choose which character, that's up to them. The inquisitor, over here, has a lot of dirt on all the other characters. So when you petition him, you push him 1 square, and then that will allow you to pull any 1 character. Or, if that character happens to be the cardinal, because the cardinal is not expecting the Inquisition, you can pull the cardinal 2 spaces. The Knigget is a character who likes to push other characters around, although don't worry, doesn't cause too much harm, it's just a flesh wound. When you petition the knight, you must push 2 other characters and then pull the knight 2 squares. The cardinal is the character who has a lot of influence over everyone in the church. So when you petition the cardinal, you will push him 1 space, and you will pull every other character 1 space. That does take both your actions for the turn, and so you would not be able to beseech, chastise, or excommunicate on a turn where you use the cardinal. Last, but certainly not least, is something completely different. The noble. Now, the noble doesn't have a petition power. You cannot petition the noble. But the noble does have 2 alternate win conditions. For the first condition, if you have the noble on your side of the board and your opponent has the knight, then the noble orders the knight to attack your rival, and the knight will stab your rival in the back, and you will win the game. However, if you get both the noble and the peasant in your congregation, the noble becomes upset that you wanted to let them associate with the revolting peasant and uses the violence inherent in the system to overthrow you, and your opponent wins the game. So that, in essence, is Avignon. You spend your turn taking 2 actions, and your opponent takes 2 actions, and whoever gets 3 characters first, or one of the noble conditions, wins the game.